This was the first time ever that a wedding like this was broadcast to the world, and 200 million people tuned in. 500,000 people lined the streets in London to get a glimpse of the big day, and 2,000 people were invited inside. This included 6 kings and 7 queens. An interesting detail from the wedding day is that Elizabeth's pearl tiara snapped just before she left Buckingham Palace. So there was actually a police escort who escorted the royal jeweler to fix it.
Goes to show even royals have stress on their wedding day. But right before Elizabeth walked down the aisle, the repaired tiara was delivered to her just in time.
Elizabeth's very lavish wedding dress was designed by Norman Hartnell, who was a very well-regarded British fashion designer at the time who had worked with the royal family. And he created a fairy tale gown for the then princess. It featured a sweetheart neckline, a full princess ball gown skirt, and 10,000 hand-sewn pearls.
One thing that was interesting in the wedding between Elizabeth and Philip was the language. The traditional vows include the word obey, and because she was a future sovereign, the government didn't want to have her obeying anyone except for the laws of the land and not her husband.
To love and cherish and obey.
There's a scene in The Crown when the vows are taking place.
Obey?
She insisted. It was discussed.
And Winston Churchill's wife asks him, obey, really? And he says, yes, she insisted.
Elizabeth has always been clear that in addition to being a monarch, or at that time the future monarch, she's a wife and she wanted the traditional vows. It might seem like a small detail now to us, but at the time it was a big deal to keep that word in and to have a future monarch vowing to obey her husband.